be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
I don't have to tell you that a lot of dust and other junk collects in your ductwork. And it doesn't just sit there. It's blowing around in your home. And that jeopardizes your home health. The commercial industrial duct cleaning system we use at Quality darn near sucked the shirt right off our tech the first time he used it. Believe me, not everybody has this powerful of a system. It's unlike any other. At Quality, you get the best duct cleaning, period. So call Quality first for your duct cleaning needs.
For the signature service you deserve.
Whether it's 24/7 emergency service or it's just time to replace your furnace, at Quality we'll be out so fast you won't even notice the heat being off. And if you're buying a high-efficiency furnace from Armstrong or Carrier, you'll qualify for state and federal tax rebates that'll pay for a big chunk of the cost. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Built Right, one location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
The Bucks travel up north to freeze the Toronto Raptors in their tracks.
Middleton fires up a three and he hits it. Cuts that deficit in half.
Our coverage begins tonight at 6. We are your home for the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 11 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, January 6th. Your top story, Canada's Prime Minister resigns.
I'm Jessica Ty. Sexual assault allegations against a sports commentator.
Winter weather advisory continues till 4 o'clock this afternoon for Kenosha, Milwaukee, and Racine counties. You can expect to see some freezing drizzle in the majority of our listening area in southeastern Wisconsin up to Sheboygan and Fond du Lac. Lake snow showers, otherwise partly cloudy and breezy. Might get an inch or so lakeside north, maybe about an inch to 3 inches near Milwaukee, 3 to 6 near the lakefront and south. Highs of 29 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 17. Tuesday, partly sunny and a high of 26. 26 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:02. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announcing his resignation.
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Trudeau will remain as prime minister until a new leader of Canada's ruling Liberal Party is chosen. Additionally, the Canadian Parliament will be suspended until March 24th.
The electoral votes from November's election will be counted today before a joint session of Congress. This is an event that takes place every 4 years, but the events of 2021 and the attack on the Capitol make this a more closely watched affair.
In an op-ed published in the Washington Post, President Biden urges Americans to not forget what happened on January 6, 2021, saying it should be remembered as, quote, a day when our democracy was put to the test and prevailed. He said Americans shouldn't take for granted what will take place at the Capitol today when Congress convenes for the tallying of the electoral votes, saying the results will be, quote, certified peacefully. Notably, President Biden makes no mention of President-elect Trump or his role in the events of that day, despite frequently criticizing him for it over the past 4 years. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Wisconsin voters could soon have more of a say on state laws.
Governor Tony Evers is proposing a plan giving Wisconsinites a way to directly introduce and vote on new laws and constitutional amendments, or repeal current state laws. In a system similar to several other states, residents could submit a petition to the Wisconsin Election Commission. If they gather enough signatures, the issue would appear on a subsequent ballot, bypassing the state legislature. Evers plans to attach the proposal to his 2025 biennial budget. David Ozzy Scott, WTMJ News.
The search continues for an armed and dangerous man wanted in connection to 3 deaths at a home in New Lisbon. Authorities have now expanded the search for Virgil Thu statewide. It's believed Thu may have left the western Wisconsin area. The woman found dead in the home has been identified as Elizabeth Kolba. The 2 kids were just 12 and 13.
Former Fox Sports host Skip Bayless being sued for sexual harassment. A former hairstylist at Fox claims Bayless made repeated and unwanted advances towards her, including offering her money for sex. News Nation's Colby Hall.
The details surrounding this suggest that there were a lot of individuals who allegedly were not truthful or, sort of stayed true to their relationships or their marriages, and careers benefited. Now, will this prove out to be true? Time will tell.
Bayless has not commented on the allegations. Fox Sports says it's taking the matter seriously. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Good start to the week here. The Dow currently up over 350 points at 43,085. A monster day for the NASDAQ, up nearly 350 points, just south of the 20,000 mark at 19,966. S&P 500 up 75 today at 6,016. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Well, after that Packers game yesterday, we're not looking back. We're looking ahead. We're looking ahead to the playoffs. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 11:05.
This report sponsored by the Fireside Theater, the ultimate Elvis tribute musical.
Which one for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready now, go, cat, go.
Elvis is back in the building at the Fireside Theater in Fort Atkinson, and you've never seen anything like it.
Since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell.
Back in the Building features a rotating cast of the finest award-winning Elvis tribute artists and Anne Margaret, all backed by an incredible live band and ensemble. Experience the eras of Elvis in this legendary feel-good show. From the 50s to the movies, the 60s comeback to the rockin' 70s. It's all here.
Oh, see,
Every ticket to the Fireside includes a superb dinner prepared by award-winning chefs and a chance to visit their spectacular gift shops. Hurry, tickets are going fast. Call 920-563-9505 or visit firesidetheater.com. Elvis back in the building, live on stage, January 9th through February 23rd. Only at the Fireside Theater.
We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. I say this because that's a pretty big number. But at Century 21 Benefit Realty, it's really not about being a top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission and no more than $19,000 commission, for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The playoffs are set in the NFL. The Packers will take the field Sunday in Philadelphia against the Eagles. Green Bay qualifies as the number 7 seed in the NFC. Something to watch this week, the status of quarterback Jordan Love. He suffered an elbow injury. It forced him from Sunday's loss to the Bears in the second quarter.
Yeah, I landed on it on the ground, I think. And yeah, just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and it pretty much just went numb.
Sunday's game, a 3:30 kick from Lincoln Financial Field. The Lions qualify as the number 1 seed in the NFC. They'll have a first-round playoff bye. And in college basketball, the Badgers continue Big Ten play tonight at Rutgers for a 6 o'clock tip. Badger Sports Update, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. Some roads just fine, no snow on them. Little light snow coming down in other spots. And then towards our south by the state line, definitely snow on the roads. The good news is we only have one crash right now, so considering the circumstances across the state and how they're varied, that's some good news. But the bottom line is we do have one. It's on I-43 North, just a little bit beyond Moreland Road. Left shoulder is blocked because of a crash there. I'm taking a peek at the cameras. No emergency responders out there right now. The crash actually happened a while ago, but there is a red car that's out there with the lights on. Looks like traffic is moving along okay by that one.
Winter weather advisory remains in effect until 4 o'clock for Kenosha, Milwaukee, and Racine counties. In terms of snow totals here, it's going to be anywhere from 1 to 6 inches. Kind of depends where you are. Lakeside north, you're looking at about an inch. Near Milwaukee, 1 to 3 inches. It's south where you really run into the issues there. Racine, Kenosha, near the lakefront, 3 to 6 inches expected. Going to be windy as well with a high of 29 degrees. Partly sunny on Tuesday, calmer conditions, and a high of 26. It is 26 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Yeah, kind of strange driving in. So in the western suburbs where I live, out in Menominee Falls, totally dry. Coming in this morning, just not an ounce of anything flying around. As I got closer to the stadium, it was a little bit of a wintry mix, but nothing really significant. Maybe flip on the wipers once in a while. By the time I got to downtown, there was actual slush sort of spinning off my tires. So it was interesting to see that develop, and that was at about 7:30 this morning. So I know conditions have only worsened closer to the lake and south, but it's one of those days where you might not see anything. If you're in the western suburbs, you might get a trace of something, but if you're in Racine and Kenosha, you're kind of in it right now, and it's not a great situation.
Yeah, I was happy to see when I was checking out the cameras that while we do have snow in the Racine and Kenosha areas, certainly on the roads, that there are no crashes at the moment. So that's great news. I'll hope that continues that way and that we're at least partly past the worst of it for here. But you're right. Yeah, some areas they're like, what? There's snow? Not seeing it in my neighborhood, but other people are.
Yeah, we'll get complete details from TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson. He will join us in about 5 minutes. Some other big stories that we're following here at 11:10 on a Monday.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are scheduled to travel to New Orleans today, just days after the deadly attack there. ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers has our look ahead.
President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are expected to arrive in New Orleans in the late afternoon today. The White House says there they will grieve with the families and community members impacted by the tragic attack on January 1st and meet with state and local officials. Tonight, the Bidens will attend an interfaith prayer service for peace and healing hosted by the Archdiocese of New Orleans at the city's cathedral. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
This morning, the Louisiana governor said he's going to ask for a presidential disaster declaration when he meets with President Biden today. 14 people were killed and many more hurt when a man plowed his truck onto a busy Bourbon Street early on New Year's Day.
Number 2, school back in session in the Sussex-Hamilton School District after a 4K student was killed after being struck by a bus outside Silver Spring Intermediate School. That happened on Thursday morning of last week. The district is revising its transportation procedures, so 4K students will no longer transfer buses at Silver Spring Intermediate. Instead, those 4K students will be bused directly to Willow Springs Learning Center and dropped off first. Therapy service dogs on site today at Silver Spring Intermediate and Willow Springs until noon. They'll be at the schools again tomorrow. There was a candlelight vigil on Friday at a church in Sussex. It was packed. It was absolutely packed. And the family has now asked that the community please stop dropping off meals. There's been such an outpouring of support. So many meals have been dropped off through Meal Train. It's kind of like a GoFundMe. But Meal Train offers sort of a schedule if you want to drop off a meal or donate for the family. And I checked here before the show. Over $80,000 has been raised for this family through Meal Train. And, of course, there were siblings as well to the 4K student, one of whom attends Lannon Elementary. So it's just a devastating situation for absolutely everybody involved and anybody in the district. But there's certainly an outpouring of support being felt in the area.
And it seems like quite a few parents are saying it's about time for changing how this works with the transfer of the students. It's just unfortunate that we had to have this happen before that was changed. Well, number 3, the regular season is over for the Green Bay Packers. The team backs into the playoffs after Sunday's loss to the Bears.
Certainly didn't want to go into the playoffs like this, but that's our circumstance. And so we got to be tough-minded and got to be critical and we got to flip the script as soon as possible. And
that's Packers head coach Matt LaFleur after the disappointing loss at Lambeau yesterday. Final score 24-22. The score really only tells part of the story, though, because if you're not watching, you're like, 24-22, maybe it was a great game. It was close. Yeah, it was a rough game for the green and gold all around. Next up for the Pack, the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card round of the playoffs. It's a 3:30 kickoff Sunday afternoon in Philly. And a story to follow this week, definitely the health of Jordan Love, who left Sunday's game in the second quarter with an elbow injury.
Yeah, the hope was to get up early, take your starters out, coast to the finish line, get that win, feel good about your situation, knowing that you still have to go to Philadelphia, right? I mean, the result of last night's game in Green Bay, it didn't really do anything to the playoff position because Washington won.
Right.
But from a feel-good standpoint, you can't tell me you're feeling great about this Packers team going into the postseason. They looked awful yesterday.
It was a little rough. And then Christian Watson, too.
That's a major injury that we may have an update on about 2 o'clock this afternoon when Matt LaFleur speaks with the media. Every level of the coaching staff also failed yesterday. It was a mess. That was a sad finish to the regular season. And you were there, freezing.
I know. I came home, and my husband said, you need to stop going to the games. Because the last game I went to, they lost 2, and that was the game where it rained every single second of the game. But everybody was talking about how cold it was. Yes, it was cold, but I will take cold and light snow any day over a rain game.
Yeah, you can't hide from that.
No, you just
you
bundled up. It was fun. I thought it was part of the Lambeau experience, so I actually enjoyed it. Did not enjoy the loss, but enjoyed the experience.
We'll have some more Packers talk throughout the program here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Brendan Johnson's going to join us. He's tracking the storm here and what is exactly happening, especially along the East Coast here. If you're on the coast by the water here in Lake Michigan, you're likely having a very different day than the folks to the west. We'll get an update from Brendan after this.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News, presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. It's for Siding Unlimited, America's best installer of America's best replacement windows. They don't have the word windows in their name. I know it sounds kind of interesting. It's Siding Unlimited. Well, yeah, but they do windows. They do doors. They do siding. They do pretty much anything to beautify your home's exterior, and they do it better than anybody else. In fact, Siding Unlimited, a family-owned company right here in Wisconsin, keeps climbing to the top of the Pella Windows of Pella, Iowa's National Awards. It's Siding Unlimited, one of only 5 Pella Premier installers in the country. What's more, they are the top. For the past 5 years, Pella has honored Siding Unlimited as their National Certified Contractor of the Year. That is amazing. Want windows? Pay Wisconsin prices with great local company right here in Wisconsin, delivering National Championship Award-winning service. Great craftsmanship, great people, great family. Eric and Aaron Brown run the company. They took it over from their father, who started a siding company back in the day. Connect with Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Perfect day on the ice, huh, Pat? Ice auger, fishing rod, portable generator, and that genius pizza oven. Pepperoni's ready.
For frozen lakes, toasty crusts, and everything in between, we've got the value you need to do things your way. Like Blaine's Gourmet Blend Indoor Cat Food, $14.99. Plus, rewards members get free same-day delivery on pet orders of $49 or more. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
Might get some of that freezing drizzle falling if you're not in the middle of this lakefront snow squall that's
that can
popping
be the worst.
Through. I don't know if squall's the right word, but I like to apply meteorological terms to stuff I don't really know what I'm talking about.
Uh-oh, it's time to go to the expert.
I'm going with squall. Does that work? TMJ4 Brendan Johnson. He's the trained meteorologist. I'm just a radio guy. Hey, Brendan.
Hey, guys. You know what? A squall would work because it is a narrow band of snow. I choose another word, but a squall, it could work.
Okay.
It could work.
Force fit it.
Okay.
Sounds good.
What is the appropriate word, though? What word are you going with?
It would be a lake effect snow band.
Ding, 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 ding. So
that does sound more official.
Take us into that band right now, Brendan. Who is still seeing snow at this time?
Yeah, so we are really kind of in a weakening phase, which is some good news, the lake effect. We do have one band that is still ongoing right now across far eastern Racine, I would say extreme northeastern Kenosha County, anywhere between maybe a tenth to a quarter of an inch per hour snowfall rate in this band. That's how much it has weakened. So if you are, let's say east of Highway 31, Green Bay Road in Racine County, so that's about halfway between the interstate and the lakefront, you might still be seeing some snow. Otherwise, a lot of us no longer seeing snow. And Greg actually got at a really good point here. The freezing drizzle is an issue this afternoon and certainly this morning as well, especially northwest where all this lake effect's been.
It's kind of interesting to watch. I was noting just my drive in. Very dry coming in from Menominee Falls. Flip on the windshield wipers once or twice around the stadium. And then by the time I got downtown, there was actual slush kind of flying off of my tires. So it really is hugging that lakefront. But how far west are you going to feel the effects of this?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, you get up to about maybe the interstate, I-41-94 is really kind of the good cutoff for where we've really seen some of the snow. Now, maybe there was a little bit that fell a little bit west of the interstate, but that really was kind of the maximum extent. I've had a couple of snow reports come in. The highest one was over at UW Parkside, 4.9 inches of snowfall. So that kind of was right in the middle of where we thought some locally higher amounts were possible. And of course, this was just, within the last few hours. So we still could have some of these numbers go up, but Mount Pleasant at 2 inches, West Racine at 2.9. Milwaukee's Mitchell Airport, though, only picking up as of, I believe it was 8:30 this morning, 0.4 of an inch of snowfall, so less than half of an inch of snow. So, I mean, again, it just was a very narrow section of the area. But the freezing drizzle a little bit farther northwest, it's a little bit more widespread, very light, guys. And it is allowing for some slick and slippery spots on especially untreated roads and elevated surfaces. We've had reports through Sheboygan County, Ozaukee County. I've had some reports in northern Milwaukee and Washington as well as Waukesha counties have a little bit of this pesky freezing drizzle, and we're going to hold on to that slight chance of freezing drizzle at least until maybe 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon.
All right. You had mentioned how little the airport got. I'm kind of curious. Does that count as a trace? What exactly does it mean when it's just a trace?
Sure. So that would be less than 1/10 of an inch of snowfall. So no, this is actually a measurable amount. So if we get less than an inch, it's measurable. If it is under 1/10 of an inch, we would call it a trace. And then, of course, if that goes all the way down to 0, so you got nothing. So if you got something less than 1/10 of an inch, it's a trace. But anything above that is measurable. So this was a measurable snow for Milwaukee. Technically.
And I'm looking at the forecast, looking ahead here. It looks like we have a dry stretch after we get through this until at least Friday, maybe longer, though. What is the outlook for more snow? I know there are some people itching, especially people who aren't getting it today, itching for some snow so they can go out and enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to wait a little bit for another opportunity for snow, possibly towards the end of the week is our next big weather maker that could potentially bring us some more snowfall. But yeah, guys, the cold weather not breaking at all. This Arctic air is going to remain over the Midwest, the Great Lakes here over the next several days. So, we're down to about 17 tonight. Maybe a few pockets of clearing, but clouds will be around Tuesday into Wednesday. Highs remain in the 20s, a little bit cooler there on Wednesday. High of only 22, maybe some teens, a little bit farther inland. The sunshine back out on Thursday with a high of 28. And then we'll be watching on Friday a storm system down to our south, but moving up to the north and east. That could bring us our next chance for some light scattered snow showers. Temperatures there in the upper 20s. We'll be watching that closely, but as of right now, just a slight chance.
Good stuff. TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson. Appreciate it, Brendan. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Take care, guys.
You too. It's 11:22 on WTMJ. Coming up next, happy anniversary to the wheel.
Ready for a win? Well, it's
it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring great tips on how to operate your home. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Update your home with new gutters and save big money on everything now at Menards. Gutters are essential for protecting your foundation and help keep your basement dry. Choose from white, brown, and black 10-foot aluminum gutters in stock and ready to take home today. Save big money on Spectra aluminum gutters in store or on Menards.com. And check out more of our great deals going on now.
Save big money at Menards.
A popular television game show marks a milestone today.
Wheel of Fortune premiered 50 years ago today in 1975. It was a daytime show at first with Chuck Woolery hosting.
Hey!
Yeah, there's a T. Pat Sajak took over in 1981. The evening syndicated show that's still around today launched in 1983. By then, Vanna White was on board.
By a vowel, an A.
Wheel of Fortune ranks as the longest-running syndicated game show in the U.S. with more than 8,000 episodes taped and aired. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
1981. Do you think when Pat Sajak took over in 1981, you would have thought he'd still be doing this in 2025?
Oh, my gosh. Well, he's not anymore.
Well, good point, but nonetheless.
I haven't watched it since Ryan Seacrest took over for Pat Sajak. Have you?
I've not. So that's kind of the new development here with Wheel of Fortune. It continues, right? Much the same way Jeopardy continued after Alex Trebek. But certainly, I don't associate Chuck Woolery with Wheel of Fortune in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
it's
no.
Pat Sajak and Vanna White, right?
For sure.
Co-stars.
And I wonder how much longer Vanna's going to be around for, because I think there was some murmuring that maybe last year would be her last year as well, but there was no way. You couldn't have Pat go and Vanna go in the same year. That wasn't happening. So I'm kind of curious to see how long Vanna will stick around for.
Yeah, 50 years. Wheel of Fortune. My Aunt Pearl used to watch Wheel of Fortune on her black and white TV while she did crossword puzzles in her kitchen.
Wow.
It was on at 6 o'clock. I mean,
That's a visual.
It was near primetime viewing. After the 6 o'clock news, I think it was on maybe at 6:30 and then led you into primetime television on the network.
I bet Aunt Pearl loved Pat.
She enjoyed Pat. She enjoyed solving the puzzles. And I think maybe Aunt Pearl was pretty sharp. She was pretty sharp. She could piece things together.
She got the puzzles?
She would have gotten these all correct.
I solved.
Oh, that'd be a good idea, yeah.
Mythological hero Achilles.
I can't accept that.
Okay.
Show me.
I'll solve.
Yeah.
Mythological hero Achilles.
Yeah, that's it. Edgar.
Fish love?
Sorry.
Jenny?
Wish list.
Corinne.
Miners and hoes.
No. Oh, eight is our category. It's worth $1,000. Greg.
An ace of kidneys.
A group of pill pushers?
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you, who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange. Hey, this is Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had some snoring issues that kept my wife up at night. That led to poor sleep and a lot of tired mornings on the radio, and nobody wants that, trust me. But it's simply, my nose wasn't working the way it should. I decided to go to Advent for a quick 30-minute visit, one of their great facilities, talk to a bunch of their doctors. They really put me at ease. After a really simple sleep study at home, in my own bed, they determined the root cause of my problem had to do with my sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle. I didn't even know I had a breathing triangle, so I went to see Advent. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, and my wife and I are both back to sleeping through the whole night. The best sleep we've ever had, that could be you. If you struggle with restless nights like I did, take the time to see how Advent can help. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your life and your nights a whole lot better, go to AdventKnows.com, schedule an appointment today. Because Advent knows, when you breathe well, you live better.
It's approaching 11:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Monday, January 6th. Your top story, a day of lake effect snow for parts of southeast Wisconsin.
I'm Jessica Ty. A strong finish in Orlando for a Wisconsinite.
Winter weather advisory continues till 4 o'clock this afternoon for Kenosha, Milwaukee, and Racine counties. In terms of snow totals, it's going to vary and really be held here to the lakefront. AM lake snow showers up to about an inch. North side, near Milwaukee, you're looking at 1 to 3 inches. In the southern part of our listening area, more toward Racine and Kenosha, you're looking at 3 to 6 inches possible. Going to be windy as well. Whatever falls going to be blowing around, a high of 29 degrees. Tonight, cloudy. The snow does subside at a low of 17. Tuesday, we get back to dry conditions, partly sunny and a high of 26. 26 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:30.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Congress holds a joint session today to finalize the 2024 election results. It comes 2 weeks before President-elect Trump is sworn into office. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has more.
Members of the House and Senate will traipse through the snow as they make their way to the joint session. The process will have Vice President Harris overseeing the count and announcing that Donald Trump has defeated her. It's a duty Al Gore similarly performed after his loss to George W. Bush 24 years ago. Congress passed the Electoral Count Reform Act in 2022 to clarify the vice president's role is strictly ministerial. She has no power to set aside a state's electoral votes.
The same winter storm that's impacting Washington, D.C. is also crippling parts of the Midwest and South. The ice and snowy mix has also led to more than 1,300 flight cancellations. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau formally announced today he's stepping down as the Liberal Party leader and in March as Prime Minister. He says in hopes of ending the stalemate in Parliament. This is ABC News.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:31. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, lake effect snow impacting portions of Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha counties this morning. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson says the freeway, the likely separator from those who will see meaningful snow totals and those who don't.
Big question is if that band comes inland, how far west does it go? Could we also see some of this higher snowfall reach Cudahy, St. Francis, Oak Creek, really up to the airport in Milwaukee? That's a question. Otherwise, rest of the area, you're not seeing any snow at all.
That winter weather advisory remains in effect for all 3 counties till 4 o'clock this afternoon. Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up.
2 people rescued and 1 arrested after a UTV went through the ice. Dodge County deputies and members of the Hustisford Fire Department rescued 2 men from Lake Sinisippi around 5 o'clock last night. The driver, 45-year-old Adam Malterer, and his 46-year-old passenger were traveling north along the lake when their Polaris UTV fell through the ice. No one was hurt. Malterer was arrested for operating while under the influence.
A new public health vending machine installed in downtown South Milwaukee. The machine outside City Hall will offer items like nasal Narcan, fentanyl test strip kits, and gun locks at no cost. The South Milwaukee machine is the 20th to be installed throughout the county since the beginning of 2023. About 94% of opioid overdoses in Milwaukee County involve fentanyl.
A valiant run by Miss Wisconsin comes up short in Orlando.
Beaver Dam's Mandy Gennard finished in the top 11 of the 2025 Miss America pageant. The 22-year-old used her random interview prompt of healthcare to address her Connecting Lives Adoption Resources initiative, which Gennard says hits close to home.
I want to pursue my lifelong advocacy as a family law attorney specializing in the adoption process so that I can advocate for those like my niece to ensure that they are receiving the resources that they need.
Ultimately, Miss Alabama Abby Stockard was crowned 2025 Miss America. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 11:33.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at bucks.com/tickets. That's bucks.com/tickets.
In a recent study, over 1/3 of millionaires predicted their ability to feel financially secure in retirement is going to take a miracle. At Annex Wealth Management, we believe a plan, not a miracle, will help increase your retirement confidence. Our team of experts gets to work using leading-edge technology to build comprehensive plans covering investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. And Annex doesn't have products to push with hidden fees or commissions. There's too much of that already. Annex is a fee-only fiduciary. More planning, fewer miracles. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Excuse me there. Geez, Packers are number 7 seed here for the NFC. I don't know what that was.
I wasn't sure.
I think it's gone now. It came back. Nope, we're good. Something to watch this week. Jordan Love's elbow injury. It forced him out of Sunday's loss to the Bears. Packers got to travel to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles in the wild card round of the playoffs this Sunday for a 3:30 kick.
Yeah, I landed on it on the ground, I think. Kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and it's pretty much just went numb.
The Detroit Lions qualify as the number 1 seed in the NFC. They will have a first-round playoff bye. If the Packers beat Philly, they'll take on Detroit in round number 2. And in college basketball tonight, the Badgers continue Big Ten play against Rutgers, a 6 o'clock tip from New Jersey. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have a crash that just popped up minutes ago here in Kenosha County, 4194 North, right just a little bit beyond the Illinois state line. The 3 left lanes are blocked because of a crash. Once again, 4194 North, just a little bit beyond the Illinois state line. There's a crash here, and I'm not liking this because the stream is not available, and sometimes when there's a bad crash, they'll kind of, cut the cameras. And unfortunately, I can't see it, but just knowing that there are 3 lanes that are blocked right now, that's not good news. 4194 North, just a little bit beyond the Illinois state line. Heads up, if you're traveling that way, the 3 left lanes are blocked because of a brand new crash.
Winter weather advisory continues until 4 o'clock this afternoon for Kenosha, Milwaukee, and Racine counties. In terms of snow totals, up to an inch lakeside north, 1 to 3 inches near the lake in Milwaukee, then 3 to 6 possible near the lakefront south. Think Racine and Kenosha, a high of 29 degrees, very windy as well. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 17. Tuesday, partly sunny, dry, and a high of 26. 26 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:38. Well, it's a big day on Capitol Hill when Vice President Kamala Harris, in her constitutional role as President of the Senate, will preside over a joint session of Congress overseeing the counting and certification of the Electoral College votes, affirming that Donald Trump did indeed win the election. Of course, Harris just a couple of months ago trying to earn those votes from the American public, and now she has a very different role in the proceedings today. We go to Capitol Hill. We welcome in Ben Siegel, ABC News correspondent. Hi, Ben.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on here. I guess first things first, do they have snow days on Capitol Hill? We know the weather's kind of nasty out there today. Everyone going to show up?
I think the House and the Senate, the senators, the lawmakers will. Everybody else in town is on a snow day. School is canceled. The federal government is telling people to work from home. So, I mean, by Wisconsin standards, it's not much, but it's pretty serious for Washington, D.C.
Yeah, that's very true. We have a different standard here in Wisconsin, but we understand it. So what's the process today? How does this all work?
So we're going to see this take place early afternoon. The House and the Senate is going to convene. Vice President Kamala Harris will preside over the tally and the counting of the electoral results from each state to affirm, her loss and Donald Trump's victory. So she's in a very unusual historical position as the vice president who was on the ballot. Al Gore was in a similar position in 2001. But we don't expect any kinds of challenge. Obviously, nothing like what we saw here 4 years ago. There's no organized outside effort to disrupt the vote. There's also a lot of security here. So in addition to the snow, we've seen police and National Guard and barricades all up around the Capitol. So we should see this happen in a pretty routine way this early afternoon, despite the snow, despite the security.
It's procedural. It's also, I guess, in a way symbolic, but you add the measure of added security. Is that due in part to what happened 4 years ago?
That's exactly right. This is supposed to be a pro forma procedural thing, and that obviously was not the case 4 years ago. And Congress made some changes to the law to make it harder to challenge the results, clarifying the vice president's role being purely ceremonial, and also raising the threshold for lawmakers to challenge the results from each state. You remember, I believe Wisconsin was one of the states 4 years ago that was disputed. And at the time, you only needed one House member and one senator to challenge the results and then force the chambers to go into debate. Now you need about 20 senators and 87 House members. So this is basically trying to clarify that this is a procedural event and that what happened 4 years ago was an aberration. And I think we're not going to see anything like that today, although, of course, a solemn day for many people on the Hill.
Sure, a procedural measure without a doubt, but also a special one, too. They even have special mahogany boxes, don't they, for the votes?
That's right. The tellers will bring in boxes, sealed boxes that will be opened on the floor that will have the votes from each state. That the certified vote that in each state the electors gathered and certified those in December, and those have not been opened. There was concern, obviously, 4 years ago about what happened to those during the attack on the Capitol, where some people got into the Capitol. But yes, these mahogany boxes will make their reappearance, opened on the floor. The votes will be counted. They will be declared, and then they will be affirmed by the vice president.
On January 6, 2021, were those boxes actually evacuated?
Yes, and they were evacuated. There was concern about what had happened to them, but the tellers and made sure the boxes were taken care of. They were spirited away. They were not misplaced. But that would have been another what if moment if something had happened to one of those boxes. How would the certification have gone through? Thankfully, that's not something that the country, that the Congress had to deal with at the time. When all of that happened 4 years ago.
ABC's Ben Siegel joining us from Capitol Hill. So Friday, Ben, we were watching as the votes were coming in, as they were convening on Capitol Hill. House Speaker votes. Would Mike Johnson make it? Would he not? It was kind of interesting to watch. Our show had ended before the final votes were tallied. But ultimately, Mike Johnson gets to hang on to his role as House Speaker. Was that a surprise in any way in just how the vote sort of happened?
It was not a surprise. I think Johnson is hanging his hat on the fact that it only took one round of voting to make him the speaker after Kevin McCarthy needed 14 rounds of voting, if you remember, in 2023 to become the speaker. So Johnson has an even narrower majority now, and he had won the gavel in much shorter time. But make no mistake, That was only after Donald Trump got involved and convinced 2 Republicans to switch their votes. So they actually held the first vote open, and they did not close the vote until those 2 members spoke to Trump and they switched their vote. So technically he did get elected on the first ballot, but in reality it was a little dicier than that. And that was just a great example of how everything up here on the Hill is going to be difficult this year for Republicans with a one seat majority, 1 vote to spare. There will be no such thing as an easy vote this year in Capitol Hill when it comes to the big ticket items that Donald Trump wants to see passed in his second term.
Ben, when you first joined us, we were talking about the snowstorm in D.C. right now. Are people on Capitol Hill talking about, had that snowstorm happened in 2021, how things might have played out differently?
I can tell you I haven't really run into anybody else up here today because people are home, but I was thinking that myself. I mean, that's a big historical what if, right? If there was a big storm like this, would the Capitol have been, sort of attacked in the way that it was? Would there have been as many people showing up on the mall? Would they have been able to make their way up to the west front of the Capitol? I guess that's one of the big, meteorological what ifs of our time. But yeah, it's a day of celebration for many Republicans on the Hill, but also a solemn day for many of the people who are up here. Certainly the city itself and some of the residents of Capitol Hill as well. As many people don't realize this is also a neighborhood, right? So there are people who live just streets away from the Capitol who saw this happen right outside their doorstep, literally. So many mixed emotions up here today, even with the snowstorm.
And I'm sure you had members of Congress texting their loved ones, alerting them about the danger and very worried about what was going to happen next. So I'm sure for those lawmakers, they'll be thinking about that too today.
Absolutely. I think that's true. And many of them, told their staff not to come in that day because they thought there was going to be something that might happen. The irony is because of the snowstorm today, we probably won't see that many staffers on the Hill for an entirely different reason.
ABC's Ben Siegel from Capitol Hill. We appreciate it, Ben. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
You bet. Coming up next, the coach was in Green Bay yesterday, right? The coach? Which coach? We'll explain after this.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Hey, Wisconsin, WTMJ's Greg Matzik here for Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. The New Year's sale is still going on. That's right, we're in 2025, but hey, you can still take advantage of some great offers on a new Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC. If one of those is in your future, connect with Team Holiday and find the one that's right for you. Stack it with their low, simplified price. Get more for your trade and put it all together with the season's best offers. Ready to take to the roads this winter with a little bit of confidence. Here's another great option for you. A GM-certified pre-owned model. Enjoy peace-of-mind benefits like 2 factory-backed warranties, scheduled maintenance, courtesy transportation, roadside assistance. That's all included. Driving a GM-certified from Holiday is a no-brainer. I know you'll appreciate what I appreciate. It's Team Holiday's welcoming and friendly and genuine guest care. It delights and makes fans of drivers from all over. I'm one of them. Thousands of others will attest. You drive Holiday, you will know the difference. Wisconsin's #1 Buick and GMC dealer. So find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick and GMC, Highway 41 and 23 in Fond du Lac. Visit holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
You're right, and I'll agree. It does sound too good to be true. But offering you affordable treatment that alleviates pain, which really does work, that we've seen in most cases, insurance paid for in full, is a definite reality. It's pain relief, really. And these are FDA-approved treatments. They're safe and proven to reduce inflammation and alleviate pain. Yeah, you'll have to get a couple of shots, and I know that can scare people. But the needle is extremely small. And after giving shots like this hundreds of thousands of times, you'll see we make it very easy. You're going to feel the relief that our powerful pain relief agents give you. They're pain relief drugs that solve pain problems. And the way I feel is that Rejuvenex should be the first stop for anyone living with pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. At $65 per joint, per injection, it's probably the most affordable pain relief option available that actually works.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex Google reviews will tell you more.
When your pipes burst, water heater's leaking, drains backing up, or whatever your plumbing problem is, the reliable plumbers at Quality are on hand 24/7 to fix your plumbing problem with fully stocked vehicles and lightning-fast response times. This is Anthony Zanevsky. Call Quality first and get the signature service you deserve to fix your plumbing problem ASAP.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. I don't have to tell you that a lot of dust and other junk collects in your ductwork. And it doesn't just sit there. It's blowing around in your home. And that jeopardizes your home health. The commercial industrial duct cleaning system we use at Quality darn near sucked the shirt right off our tech the first time he used it. Believe me, not everybody has this powerful of a system. It's unlike any other. At Quality, you get the best duct cleaning, period. So call Quality first for your duct cleaning needs.
For the signature service you deserve.
Winter weather advisory remains in effect until 4 o'clock this afternoon for Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha counties. If you're north of Milwaukee, you could expect about an inch. If you're in the Milwaukee area, 1 to 3 inches. South of Milwaukee, down toward the state line, Racine and Kenosha, you're looking at maybe 3 to 6 inches. Going to be blowing around, too. Be very careful if you're out on the roadways. Might have some freezing drizzle to worry about to the western part of the southeastern Wisconsin. Very careful on the roads today if you're driving around. Will be cloudy tonight at a low of 17, 26, dry, sunny on Tuesday. It's 26 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:49.
Did you see it? Actor Craig T. Nelson singing the national anthem at the Packers-Bears game.
Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet waving. O'er the land of the free.
It was quite the spectacle. And I'll tell you what, it was kind of interesting. If you've been paying attention to Wisconsin's Midday News here, you knew that actor Craig T. Nelson was going to be singing because he stars in the new Green and Gold film set to hit theaters nationwide on January 31st. But there were definitely people in the crowd who were like, wait, as soon as they interviewed him, my mom and I went to the game yesterday, or as soon as they announced him, they said, actor Craig T. Nelson singing the national anthem. And there were people behind me that said, actor Craig T. Nelson? What? They thought it was really cool.
80 years old. He's on the field at Lambeau. It's like 14 degrees outside, and there he is belting the national anthem out. Well, you mentioned the Green and Gold movie, Jessica. They had a whole behind-the-scenes sort of, I don't know if you want to call it a launch party or a kickoff party, but the director of the movie was there, Craig T. Nelson, of course, in Green Bay. And if there is a green carpet, red carpet, or blue carpet to be rolled out, Sandy Max is going to be there. And she was. You got to be behind the scenes. You get a little FaceTime and hang time with Craig T. Nelson yesterday.
Kickoff event, I think, is a perfect way to phrase it, with the punny football action.
Sure.
And it was a preview, but it wasn't a movie preview per se, but it was an exciting launch party for this film that we're all looking forward to. And you mentioned different colored carpets. It was a blue carpet party, but there was red carpet interviews for the Green and Gold movie. So they had a lot going on. But the blue carpet, that Culver's color blue, royal blue, kind of navy blue, because Culver's has partnered to make Green and Gold happen because the storyline is about a dairy farmer played by Craig T. Nelson, known as Buck, who bets the farm on the Green Bay Packers in the early 90s to keep the farm. So there's a big agricultural storyline here and representing the Midwest, the heartland, the Wisconsin lifestyle that is very, very real. So it was very fun to see this movie celebrated that way. And just hearing Craig T. Nelson sing that booming voice, I put my hand on my heart, like it just gets your respect, it gets your attention. So it was very fun to also see Craig T. Nelson walking the red carpet. And as soon as I walk in, though, because the atrium, anytime you have an excuse to hang out in the atrium at Lambeau Field, it's way cool.
Cool experience.
And you see the huge digital clock that counts down to the draft. On Friday night, it was 110 days, hours, and seconds. So they are preparing, let me tell you. And when I got a chance to talk to Mark Murphy, he told me just how much they are preparing for the draft. They had a meeting last week. 160 people were in that meeting alone, preparing for April. So it's a lot of action going on behind the scenes with the draft. But I asked Mark Murphy, I was like, hey, well, what impressed you about meeting Craig T. Nelson now that you're in the movies?
Well, number one, I can't believe he's how tall he is, but he's going to sing the national anthem. So you're pretty talented when you can sing the national anthem and be an award-winning actor.
Have you heard him practicing?
No, I have not, no. Yeah. I'm sure our fans, however he sounds, they'll love it.
Everybody knows that's an intimidating task.
It is. Well, and I loved the story that director Anders Lindwall told us here in Wisconsin's Midday News, that he kind of gave us the scoop that this was their idea. I mean, the director and his brother, who's the producer on this, they pitched this idea for Nelson to sing the national anthem. And then the Packers were like, can he sing? And they made Nelson send an audition tape, which was so great. But if you know him, whether it's from his old days with Coach or something more recent like Young Sheldon, I think you recognize that voice. Something else people noticed on the field on Sunday was that he was dressed in the farmer gear like Buck, his character in the movie. And I was curious, as you were mentioning, Sandy, from Friday night, you talked about Culver's in the blue carpet. Culver's has this big Thank You Farmers project. Were there farmers out there, and how did that all play a role?
There certainly were. You saw young people in their FFA, Future Farmers of America jackets, and there were several, and I mean several, dairy farmer families who were there who either were filming there or have relationships with Culver's. And as I left the event, 4 people said, would you mind taking a picture of us on the blue carpet, next to the green and gold movie poster? And I said, sure, absolutely. And, what's your name? And they're like, we're the Mathis family. When you see Culver's, when you see the picture of the farm, that's our farm.
Oh, wow.
There's such a pride in being part of this. So, yes, this Thank You Farmers is a real deal. And there was a presentation after the red carpet walking, and Anders Lindwall, who you've interviewed twice now, and I got to share some of that interview on What's on Tap. Anders talked about how important it was when he introduced Craig T. Nelson and Craig Culver, who he said, my family just calls them the Vers. Oh. That's how well they know the Culvers. But that this Thank You Farmers program that they've done for 15 years is so very important, because this is about the community. And this movie, Green and Gold, is to celebrate the farming community. And in particular, the word stewardship came up many times. And walking that walk and the values of hard work and community and working together despite your differences, and how important that is now more than ever. So it really was an impactful, very fun event, though. There's even a blue pickup truck parked in the atrium that you see used in the movie. Yeah. I mean, you talk about pitching Craig T. Nelson to do the national anthem. Craig T. Nelson told me on the red carpet that he went to a recording studio to record his audition. Like it was a real deal. And Craig T. Nelson was their first choice for this role.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they wanted him.
And didn't think that they would get it. And how did he feel about filming here in Wisconsin?
It's like coming home, really. I mean, my great-grandparents lived in Etterick, Wisconsin, so in the West. So that's where they settled. And one of my best friends is from Eau Claire, and then one of my other best friends is from Baraboo.
Always a connection. Everybody's got a connection to Wisconsin. Crazy. Of course, Baraboo. Why not?
But it's not like hiring this New York actor to assimilate and get in and get dirty and birth cows and milk cows. He really has a connection to our state and a real pride in the farming business.
So during the event on Friday, I know we're running out of time here, but I think this is important. You got a chance to see a good, I think it was 25 minutes of the film. What is your review? How does this film feel?
I'm excited. We keep calling it an indie film, and it is, but it's a major production when you see because the Packers are partnering with this film as well, it's actual NFL footage.
Yeah.
So when they're talking about, these plays, you see Favre, all this is going to be on the big screen, which is going to add to the emotion and the excitement and big major league feel of this film. And the chemistry of the actors is wonderful. There's a woman named Annabelle Armour, who is an actress who plays Buck's wife. She's great, and she actually played at Next Act Theater earlier this spring in The Treasurer. So there are a lot of connections, but I think you hear, we're going to bet the farm, and it sounds like a jokey kind of premise. It leads you into why someone would bet the farm on the early 90s Packers, who were not a proven commodity at that time. That's true. So I think it's going to be very heartwarming. It seems very compassionate. It seems like a lot of drama. And then there's a whole other storyline about the granddaughter who's a musician, and she goes to Milwaukee and performs, and she's kind of up and coming. So there's a lot to like about this, and there's also romance in the movie for the young people and for the older people. I think it's going to be a very rich film.
Well, very cool.
I'm
It's such a cool experience. Glad you got to be a part of that, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. What a fun event to be a part of.
Yeah, thank you. I'll play
Very
more of the panel discussion on what's on tap tomorrow night.
Looking forward to it. Sandy Max. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
It's 11:57. News coming up.
The only place to get this.
Every twist and turn you could possibly dream of is playing out tonight. Are you kidding me?
With some of this.
We are the Bucks, Justin.
You're a member of the team now. Okay.
Well, I have the tattoo on my arm, so I kind of am.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show with Justin Garcia and Brandon Snide. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Elizabeth and John bought their starter home 8 years ago, BC, as in before children. Now, with 2 elementary school-age kids, they wanted to make a move to the suburbs for a bigger home with more yard. But they didn't know if or how they could buy their next home without selling their current one. Fortunately, a friend who was a multi-time AccuNet client connected them with us, and we soon determined they could, in fact, afford to buy without selling first, which was a big relief to them and their real estate agent. Armed with an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, it still took several weeks to find the right home for the next chapter in their life. But I'm happy to report that Elizabeth, John, and their boys opened their presents on Christmas morning in their new home after closing just a few days before. Whether you're buying your first home or your next home, go with the pros who have all the tools and know-how to make your home buying experience as smooth and successful as humanly possible. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
If you're looking to build or remodel, then check out the 2025 Metropolitan Builders Association Home Building and Remodeling Show, presented by Nuns, January 10th through the 12th at State Fair Park. Learn about the latest home building and remodeling trends from over 150 MBA industry experts. For more information and tickets, visit MBAHomeshow.com. If building and remodeling is on your to-do list in 2025, then don't miss the MBA Home Building and Remodeling Show this weekend at State Fair Park.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Start the new year right with Norwalk Furniture on sale now at Ken Michaels Furniture. Save 35% on showroom pieces that are ready for immediate delivery, or in just 35 days, you can create a look that reflects your unique style with over 850 fabric and leather options and comfort levels, from cuddling to extra firm support. Norwalk Furniture's American roots go back over 102 years. For better quality American-made upholstery, shop the Norwalk Upholstery Sale at any Ken Michaels Furniture locations in Greenfield, Brookfield, or downtown. Better days start with a better night's sleep on a mattress from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in Milwaukee, our mattresses are custom built to your needs. We have all the comfort and firmness options to give you your best night's rest. Buying direct from our factory showrooms will save you up to 50% compared to national brands. Shop today during our New Year's sale at Ken Michaels Furniture for over 75 years of uncompromising quality, local factory direct saving, and your best night's sleep.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com, or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New year, new you, New Nordic.
The Bucks travel up north to freeze the Toronto Raptors in their tracks.
Middleton fires up a three, and he hits it. Cuts that deficit in half.
Our coverage begins tonight at 6. We are your home for the Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm Greg Manzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, January 6th. Your top story, visitors paying respects to a late U.S. president.
I'm Jessica Ty, a new interim leader at the Milwaukee County Transit System.
Winter weather advisory until 4 o'clock for Kenosha, Milwaukee, and Racine counties. Partly cloudy and breezy, a high of 29 degrees tonight. Partly cloudy, a low of 17. Sunny on Tuesday and a high of 26. 26 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:02 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. Thousands continue to pay respects in Atlanta to former President Jimmy Carter ahead of his state funeral in Washington later this week.
Jim Crisul in Atlanta. For many, including Claudia O'Neill, seeing the body of a former president lying in repose will probably be a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
It was a wonderful opportunity. We may never get another one. My 12-year-old grandson is here. We wanted him to be a part of it.
A steady stream of people continue coming to the Carter Presidential Center, where Jimmy Carter's flag-draped casket will remain until Tuesday morning, when it will be flown to Washington, D.C. Jim Crisul, CBS News, Atlanta.
We're now hearing from the ex-girlfriend of the man who killed himself and exploded a Cybertruck outside the Trump Hotel in Vegas last week.
Investigators say it is clear from Matthew Livelsberger's own writings that he was suffering from PTSD and other mental health issues. His ex-girlfriend tells ABC News as they dated, she could see he was struggling with mental health after deployments.
He was really open about the trauma he faced and the teammates he lost. He lost a lot of teammates over the years.
In a letter on his phone, Livelsberger called the explosion a stunt. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Milwaukee County Transit System has a new interim managing director.
Julie Esch takes over the role for the time being after former managing director Denise Wanke retired to start the new year. Wanke had previously announced plans to take a leave of absence in October. Esch is now the third managing director for the transit system since the 2023 retirement of Daniel Bohm. The news comes as MCTS implements fare increases in 2025 and months after announcing plans to suspend a planned bus rapid transit project along 27th Street. MCTS has opened a nationwide search for a permanent managing director. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Lake effect snow has started to weaken across southeastern Wisconsin. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson tells Wisconsin's Midday News the primary threat now is freezing drizzle.
A lot of us no longer seeing snow, rather the freezing drizzle is an issue this afternoon, and especially northwest where all this lake effect's been.
Our winter weather advisory runs until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up here in just minutes.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow still up about 170 points. That's actually down from where it was earlier today. It was up about 300 points about an hour ago, but still, good day for the Dow at 42,900. NASDAQ up nearly 300 points at 19,900. S&P 500 up about 55 at 59.96. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
What to look for as the Packers head into the playoffs. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal. To do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Packers are headed to the playoffs as the number 7 seed in the NFC. They'll take on the Eagles Sunday afternoon in Philadelphia. Something to watch this week, the status of Jordan Love's elbow injury that forced him from Sunday's loss to the Bears.
Yeah, I landed on it on the ground, I think. And yeah, just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and it's pretty much just went numb.
NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport is reporting that wide receiver Christian Watson has a torn ACL. Meanwhile, the Lions qualify as the number 1 seed in the NFC. They'll have a first-round playoff bye. And in college basketball, the Wisconsin Badgers continue Big Ten play tonight in Piscataway, New Jersey. They'll take on Rutgers for a 6 o'clock tip. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have 2 incidents I want to let you know about. One in Kenosha County, the other in Ozaukee County. Let's start with Kenosha County, where there is a crash on 4194 North, just beyond the Illinois state line. Right now, the 2 left lanes are blocked because of that crash. Once again, it's on 4194 North, just beyond the Illinois state line. I will tell you, about 20 minutes ago, 3 lanes were blocked, so we're getting a little bit better with only 2. They have cut the cameras there, so I'm hoping that as far as any injuries, it's not bad, but I can't see because DOT has cut the cameras on this one. Ozaukee County, not a crash, but there is some pavement damage that's being reported on I-43 South, right around Mequon Road, and the left lane is closed because of that. Once again, in Ozaukee County, pavement damage on I-43 South, right by Mequon Road.
Winter weather advisory until 4 o'clock this afternoon for Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha counties. As for snow totals, up to an inch of snow lakeside north, 1 to 3 inches near the lake in Milwaukee, 3 to 6 possible near the lakefront south, Racine and Kenosha area. High of 29 degrees tonight, low of 17. Partly sunny on Tuesday and a high of 26. 28 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
It's also about 17 degrees in our studios today. Jessica's saying we should have a little of those hand warmers. Did you use those yesterday, by the way?
We did.
You were at Lambeau. It was not warm by any stretch.
Oh, no, it was not. It was 17 degrees, I believe they said. The tundra temp, they announced it. At kickoff, 17 degrees, felt a lot colder. But the thing is, I think it's fun. That's part of the Lambeau experience. There was a little bit of snow falling.
Sure.
I just like that, and I don't mind because you can bundle up. I thought that was way better than the rain game I went to when it rained every single second. I'll take the snow and the cold over rain any day.
Yeah, I feel like in rain, everybody's miserable, including the players. When you got a snow game, everybody's kind of packed in. You know what you're getting into, right? If you're going to a football game at Lambeau in January, you know what you're getting into.
It's part of the fun. And some people, you're so bundled up, you look like the Michelin Man, and it's like hard to get up the stairs to get to your spot.
Can't put your arms down.
Fun. It would have been more fun if we got a win.
Well, yes, there is that. And
can't
some
get everything, I
bad
guess.
injury news as well. We'll have that for you later in the program. Some big stories that we are on top of today at 12:11.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Happening now, the electoral votes from November's election are being counted before a joint session of Congress. This is an event that takes place every 4 years, but the events of 2021 and the attack on the Capitol make this time a more closely watched affair. ABC White House correspondent Karen Travers has the latest from President Biden.
In an op-ed published in the Washington Post, President Biden urges Americans to not forget what happened on January 6, 2021, saying it should be remembered as, quote, a day when our democracy was put to the test and prevailed. He said Americans shouldn't take for granted what will take place at the Capitol today when Congress convenes for the tallying of the electoral votes, saying the results will be, quote, certified certified peacefully. Notably, President Biden makes no mention of President-elect Trump or his role in the events of that day, despite frequently criticizing him for it over the past 4 years. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
So they're doing this right now, certifying the electoral votes so that they're being counted. They just went through Arkansas and Alabama, then they moved to California. Right now they're on Colorado, which Colorado has 10 electoral votes. Needed, remember that number, the coveted number, 270 to win. So right now where they are, they've counted 54 for Harris, 29 for Trump, but we know Trump gets it. There's no denying when it comes to this one as far as the numbers. So it's basically procedural.
Very much procedural, very symbolic as well. Also a snow day in the nation's capital.
Yeah.
Like everybody else is gone. They're home. They're not, like this is the thing, like one of the only things happening in Washington, D.C. today.
And
roads are shut down.
That was one of the things, in case you missed it during our last hour, we were talking with the ABC correspondents and Ben Siegel in this case about what was happening today. And I said, I wonder if there's any chatter about had this snowstorm happened in 2021, would we have seen what we saw that day if there was a big snowstorm and Mother Nature kind of changed things? And there's a little talk about that on Capitol Hill right now.
Well, winter weather advisory remains in effect until 4 o'clock around here. Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha counties in that advisory. All of southeastern Wisconsin up to Fond du Lac and even Sheboygan counties should be prepared for some freezing drizzle this afternoon. As for snow and what else we can expect,
we are really kind of in a weakening phase, which is some good news. The lake effect. We do have one band that is still ongoing right now across far eastern Racine, I would say extreme northeastern Kenosha County, anywhere between maybe a tenth to a quarter of an inch per hour snowfall rate in this band. That's how much it has weakened. So if you are, let's say east of Highway 31, Green Bay Road in Racine County, so that's about halfway between the interstate and the lakefront, you might still be seeing some snow.
Yeah, that massive winter storm, that's Brendan Johnson, by the way, from TMJ4, is hammering the East Coast. Got the blizzard conditions stretching from Kansas to Washington, D.C., Virginia with snow. And it's been kind of a mess, as we noted here. Looking ahead here, is it your next big weather systems, crippling cold? What can you expect? Packers in the playoffs playing in Philadelphia. It looks like highs somewhere in the 30s around kickoff in Philadelphia on Sunday afternoon. So it shouldn't be too much of a weather event. Not looking at a big system moving through that part of the country later this weekend.
Today, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced he plans to step down as the Liberal Party leader and then as Prime Minister after a new leader is selected for his party. Trudeau making his remarks today in Ottawa, Canada. Here's the Prime Minister near the top of those remarks.
In an op-ed published in the Washington...
Last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today.
So he told his kids and then he tells the world.
Yeah, just like that.
This was a big one, though. A lot of people this morning were like, oh, whoa. There were a couple of murmurings that this could happen. A leader for the Liberal Party for 11 years. It's a long time, and Prime Minister for 9. But he was facing a number of issues, from Donald Trump's tariff threats to the resignation of key allies and some disastrous opinion polls. He says Canada's parliament will be suspended until March 24th while a new leader is chosen.
Coming up next, big decisions on some major projects locally in 2025. We detail with the MMAC's Ryan Amundsen after this.
Spanning the state with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
A sinkhole has caused havoc.
The streets want to eat cars. The earth is just turning against us in Whitefish Bay. This time, we can't just blame the earth. This time, we have to blame the arrogance and stupidity of a driver. Then that's nature saying you deed around and you found out. Drove around
Isn't it an
and
act?
found out. Well,
It's an act around it?
Not when you're driving. When you're driving, it's deed.
Oh.
See, I did a little play on words there.
Only on WTMJ.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list. But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again. What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree. What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds Again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Winter weather advisory till 4 o'clock for Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha. Areas to the south could see a little more snow than areas to the north. Maybe 1 inch north of Milwaukee, 1 to 3 in Milwaukee, 3 to 6 if you're in the Racine, Kenosha area. Overnight low of 17. Tomorrow's high 26 under partly sunny skies. 27 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:18. Brian Amundsen is the Senior Director of Communications for the MMAC, in for Tim Sheehy, who has taken a little bit of time off as we begin the new year. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
You know, we have so much fun talking about where Milwaukee is heading and some big projects and, you know, corporate headquarters moving into downtown. And there is a buzz. There are things happening in downtown, some positive momentum. But we also want to look ahead to some major projects here in 2025. What tops the list for you? Major local projects that really could see a move forward here this year.
Yeah, you know, I think the one that really gets a lot of buzz is the I-794 project. And you really have to strike a balance with it because there's a lot of people who want to see development along that path. And there's others who want to keep that freeway access there to the lake. So the Department of Transportation has provided 3 options. Basically maintaining what we have there right now, making improvements to it, making some design changes, and then bringing it down to grade, making a complete change on it. We actually did a informal survey with our membership about what they'd like to see, and they want to strike that balance too. A plurality is looking for really a hybrid option, retaining that freeway access to the lake, but at the same time making some space for improvements and some development down there. Take advantage of some property tax development down there, maybe some extra housing down there, more retail. But yeah, it's really striking that balance about what to do with 794. And there may not be a decision made this year, but that day is coming soon.
Yeah, that's certainly a controversial one. Another big project that I think about that definitely had momentum in 2024 was Northridge Mall and the demolition finally happening, but that still goes into 2025. What's next?
Yeah, so they started demolishing that property back in 2024, and now it's kind of a wait and see to decide what they want to do with that. There's been talk about doing some light industrial there. There's been talk about putting some affordable housing there, space for manufacturing, job training, education, youth recreation. The latter of those would be great, considering that's a high need area when it comes to jobs and accessible jobs. So again, it's a wait and see, but there should be some decisions made this year as to what to do with that property.
We always talk about housing too, right? It felt like a saturation point years ago in the condo world. Now you've got apartments that are, you know, it's a challenging situation. Housing in general here with a lack of new homes being built, especially in the suburban areas, people holding on to low interest rates, not moving as much. What is the future here? We know Cavalier Johnson's plan to encourage housing development is changing the zoning requirements and laws. There's been some opposition to that. How do we see housing in Milwaukee move forward here?
Well, obviously, the business community, that's going to be a big priority for them. In order to move here and to create jobs here, you need housing here. And here, the rental market here in Milwaukee is one of the tightest in the country. It's extremely competitive. So yes, there has been some talk about providing more density or making more density when it comes to housing. Mayor Johnson's plan is being looked at, and I think they're going to be doing some more outreach on that in the coming year. But you know, in order to fill those jobs and grow the economy here, you need the housing. So they're looking at changing some zoning laws to do more duplexes, more triplexes, more multifamily family developments. And that would be a good thing to provide not only more housing, but affordable housing here in Milwaukee.
I feel when it's January, you kind of have this moment where you can look at the calendar and look at your life and think, what's coming up? The other day, I love a good concert.
Right.
Love concerts. We've got awesome concerts, awesome music here and music venues in Milwaukee. So I was taking a peek, like what's coming up for 2025? But for a moment, let's go back because 2024 was the best year ever for large concerts in Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Journal-Sentinel reported this morning that they increased the big concert numbers by 36% from 2023. And you saw that not only at Summerfest, but down at Veterans Park with the Harley Homecoming.
Yeah.
And so this year, they've got about 22 major Milwaukee major concerts announced. You've got Billy Joel and Sting coming to American Family Field. You've got Megan Thee Stallion and a couple other big concerts coming to that same venue. But yeah, Milwaukee is Music City. We're Festival City. And these huge concerts are great not only for the people that are enjoying the concerts, but they're great for the businesses because when you go to a concert, you're going to dinner beforehand. You might go have a few drinks afterwards. So it's really good news for the city of Milwaukee.
MMAC's Ryan Amundson joining us here in the studio. And now you're talking about adding to that list, right? That arsenal of music venues with what's going to happen to the Deer District. That's about a 4,500 person venue by the end of this year. And what they're working on at Potawatomi, constantly expanding and reimagining their space.
Right, yeah. The 45-seat venue, that's a nice size, and it'll bring in a different kind of shows into that venue. Potawatomi, you never know what they're going to do. Last year, they had, I think it was 6 concerts outside. They used that space that they had purchased about 10 years ago and threw some great concerts in there, very popular. Full disclosure, I used to work at Potawatomi, so I have some friends there, and they were very pleased with the turnout.
I knew. I went to the Snoop Dogg concert with my husband because we used to sing those songs back in the day and can still sing all of them. That was quite the concert, quite the show in more ways than one that I don't think we have time to get into right now. But I'll tell you what, Ryan, when I went and I saw like the first one happening, I thought bigger things are in store. I knew it wasn't just going to be, we're throwing a couple concerts this summer. You could just tell that this was going to be a theme.
They know how to throw an event at Potawatomi. They know how to throw a party. And so I'll be excited to see what they do with that property.
Yeah, who's coming next?
Ryan, we always pay attention to the job market here as well and what the labor force looks like if companies are going through rounds of layoffs or maybe just in a period of holding and not hiring. But I saw a very interesting stat that in the last 6 months, more than half of the newly hired workers reported changing fields. It just entirely, right?
Right.
Which I think is a staggeringly high number that you might be looking to just to totally switch paths. What do you think fuels that? That's up considerable amount.
Yeah, so I think the job market in and of itself, we're in a kind of a transition period here because of the election, and I think businesses are waiting to see which way the economy is going to be going. But another thing to look at too is AI and how it's impacting office jobs. I read that same story from the Wall Street Journal, and it looks like that's playing a big decision in hiring patterns for businesses, not only here but across the country. Which jobs are going to be most impacted by the AI jobs, and it seems to be office jobs right now. Some of those sectors are doing quite well. You've got, the manufacturing sector is resilient. Healthcare is resilient. The hospitality industry is resilient right now. But yeah, some of those office jobs right now, it's tough. I think I saw most people are, the average search for a job is taking 6 months right now for those people that are used to working in offices and behind a desk. So we'll see where the economy leads us with those office jobs and which direction that's going.
Well, a lot of people, if you're looking for a job right now, you're probably going to listen to that. Okay, it's taken about 6 months to find a job. Where are the jobs right now?
Again, like I said, manufacturing is doing well. Healthcare is doing well. Transportation, mining are both doing well. The hospitality sector is doing well. Service industry is okay. But yeah, those I think it's a wait and see for some industries right now.
Always a good information. He is the Senior Communications Director for the MMAC, Ryan Amundson, joining us in studio. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
We'll get you back upstairs to your office.
You bet.
Okay. Thanks so much. 12:26 and WTMJ News coming up.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring great tips on how to operate your home. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off their shoulders. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. It's Gruber Law Offices. If you've been hurt in an accident, you make the call to Gruber. Let them handle the legal aspect of things while you focus on healing. It's what you want to be doing, right? Gruber, providing the best care, service, and representation for 40 years and giving back to the community. All very important for this family-run business. Making a difference in helping those in the community for almost 4 decades. That's Gruber. Locally known and nationally recognized. Make a call to 414-276-6666, or if you've been hurt in an accident, visit them online. Visit gruber-law.com.
Oh boy, it's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mine Chef is family-owned, understands inflation hurts. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza absolutely free. Any size, any quantity, you buy one, get one free. Buy 2, get 2 free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free pizzas. Business owners, managers, bring in pizza for your hardworking employees and your key clients. They're going to love it because it's delicious pizza and your second pizza's free, saving your company a ton of money. Bring your family in today for free pizza. Your kids will love that world-class game room. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA in Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Lots of seating, lots of close parking. No need to cook. Don't think about cleaning today. Mondays can be tough enough. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Shaft. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. Desserts, and I love their desserts, are also buy one, get one free. Just walk in today for your free Monday pizza. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Siding is what pops on your home. Clean lines, beautiful accents, and wonderful colors can make your home really look amazing. Homeowners are always looking to add curb appeal when buying new siding, and a well-installed product from Siding Unlimited will definitely deliver a grand appeal. There is so much more to gain from replacing your siding other than the curb appeal you're already seeking. There is so much value in having new siding with low maintenance. Just an annual cleaning with the hose is all you really need to do. You can't get much lower maintenance than that. The process of replacing siding gives homeowners a fresh start, a new understanding knowing that we can peel back the old stuff and get a real in-depth inspection on the walls on your home and the structural integrity. How has the home performed over the past 20 years? We'll see it all when removing the old siding. There's a high percentage your home is missing the most important factor in siding a home, and that's a working water barrier. Many homes built in the 1990s and prior don't have a water barrier beneath the siding, and homes that were built in the 90s that do have one probably have a water barrier that was installed incorrectly. New siding replacement assures us that we install the water barrier correctly and protect the home moving forward. Our process always includes adding insulation board to the wall. This gives you a water barrier underlayment and additional R value, which is an energy coefficient, so warmer walls, adding more value to the project than the expected curb appeal. As the new siding goes back on, we know your home will be ready to manage water well into the future and look amazing doing so.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for siding and also replacement windows, roofing, and decks. Take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
It's 12:31. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, January 6th. Your top story, a manhunt expands across Wisconsin.
I'm Jessica Ty. A voter proposal from Governor Tony Evers.
Winter weather advisory continues till 4 o'clock for Kenosha, Milwaukee, and Racine counties. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 17. Partly sunny tomorrow and a high of 26. Could have 3 to 6 inches of snow lakefront south. So Racine and Kenosha, maybe 1 to 3 near Milwaukee, and 1 inch maybe to the northern part. Again, all along the lake here. Lakefront snow band working its way through today. High of 29 degrees. Currently 27 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:31 for the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom. The search continues for an armed and dangerous man wanted in connection to 3 deaths at a home in New Lisbon. Authorities believe Virgil Thu may have left the western Wisconsin area. The adult female found dead in her home has been identified as Elizabeth Kolba. The 2 juveniles were 12 and 13 years old.
Wisconsin voters could have more say on state laws.
Governor Tony Evers is proposing a plan giving Wisconsinites a way to directly introduce and vote on new laws and constitutional amendments, or repeal current state laws. In a system similar to several other states, residents could submit a petition to the Wisconsin Election Commission. If they gather enough signatures, the issue would appear on a subsequent ballot, bypassing the state legislature. Evers plans to attach the proposal to his 2025 biennial budget. David Ozadie-Scott, WTMJ News.
Well, if you ever wanted to name a snowplow, now's your chance.
The City of Madison Parks and Streets Division are turning to the public's help to name 5 vehicles in the division's snowplowing fleet. Residents can submit 1 to several names online until January 24th at 4 p.m. The goal is for a lighthearted competition. The more pun-filled and playful, the better. The election for the new names will take place on February 3rd. To submit your names, check out our website at WTMJ.com. Sean Brinda, WTMJ News.
The annual trade show of all things tech is upon us. CES is this week in Las Vegas.
The most powerful tech event in the world.
2,400 exhibitors, including startups, bringing their techie concepts and products to the floor in Las Vegas.
AI is everywhere you look. It's going to be ever present.
CES spokesperson Allison Freed tells Wisconsin's Morning News, while not every cool techie item will make it to market, a lot of investors are on hand.
While it's so fun to kind of see the glitz and the glam on site, it is business. It is people working to solve problems, to come up with solutions.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 12:33.
Whether it's 24/7 emergency service or it's just time to replace your furnace, at Quality we'll be out so fast you won't even notice the heat being off. And if you're buying a high-efficiency furnace from Armstrong or Carrier, you'll qualify for state and federal tax rebates that'll pay for a big chunk of the cost. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. If you like being prepared like I do, you know the value of a generator. When the power goes out, it's a terrible inconvenience. And that's why Quality installs effortless whole home generators that give you power when everybody else's is out. This is Anthony Zanevsky from Quality, where you'll get the signature service you deserve and whole home generators that make power outage fears subside.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avastin-capted Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Packers, number 7 seed in the NFC playoff picture. They'll travel to Philadelphia to play the Eagles on Sunday, a 3:30 kick from Lincoln Financial Field. Something to watch for this week. Jordan Love's injury, suffered an elbow injury that forced him from Sunday's loss to the Bears.
Yeah, I landed on it on the ground, I think. And yeah, just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and it's pretty much just went numb.
Yeah, another injury issue for the Packers. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reporting that wide receiver Christian Watson has a torn ACL. College basketball, the Badgers continue Big Ten play tonight at Rutgers for a 6 o'clock tip. Badger Sports Updates, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. It is siding and a whole lot more.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We have one incident in Kenosha County, another in Ozaukee County. Down in Kenosha County, the situation is evolving. It's getting a little bit better. There's a crash on 4194 North, just beyond the Illinois state line. Once again, crash on 4194 North, just beyond the Illinois state line. They've cut the cameras, so I can't see the situation right now. But I can tell you that only one lane is now blocked. The left shoulder is blocked due to that crash. When we first saw that crash, it was 3 of the lanes were blocked, then 2, now we're down to 1. So at least we're getting a better situation right now on that. In Ozaukee County, what we're dealing with is some pavement damage on I-43 South near Mequon Road. Pavement damage on I-43 South near Mequon Road. So just a heads up, at one point they will likely do some closures to take care of that as well.
Winter weather advisory in effect until 4 o'clock this afternoon for Kenosha, Milwaukee, and Racine counties. Wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour. If you're along the lakefront, you're going to feel something here from Kenosha all the way north, likely to the Port Washington area. 1 to 3 inches in Milwaukee, 3 to 6 to the south, maybe an inch further north. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 17. 26 the high on Tuesday under partly sunny skies. 27 degrees in Milwaukee at 12:38.
School is back in session today in the Sussex-Hamilton School District, and this is a big deal for not only the kids and the teachers, but parents as well in this community, because this is the first day back to class after the tragedy last week when a 4K student was hit and killed by a bus outside of Silver Spring Intermediate. That happened on Thursday of last week, and Greg, we know you're close with this because your kids are in the district as well, and one of your kids happened to see what happened here, the aftermath of it. So there are a couple of things here. We've got school back in session today and also some changes now in place.
Some significant changes to the way the bus transportation procedures work. So the issue with the previous procedure is that the youngest students in the district were asked to get off a bus at Silver Spring Intermediate and get on another bus to go to Willow Springs Learning Center. So you'd have kids anywhere from 4 or 5 years old all the way up to 5th and 6th grade, all on the same bus. Stop number 1 was Silver Spring Intermediate. The bus would then continue on to Lannon Elementary School. Another bus would take the 4K students to Willow Springs. So what they're doing now is revising that procedure. 4K students will no longer transfer buses at all. They get on the bus wherever they're picked up, and they are taken to Willow Springs. That's the first stop. So the 4K students will now get off at Willow Springs Learning Center, and the bus will continue on to Silver Spring Intermediate and then Lannon. So it's kind of a different order, but no transferring of students. And you hate that a tragic and horrific event led to this. I know it was a concern of some parents in the district. Having witnessed that procedure myself, it never felt unsafe. It always felt organized, but in the case of what happened on Thursday, it was just a horrific accident in which the boy kind of stumbled off the curb and in front of the bus. He fell down. It was just a terrible situation. They revised the policy in effect starting today.
So I'm curious about this because to an outsider, somebody who's not in the district, who doesn't know that this is how it was and hasn't seen it work like you have, when you hear about it, it sounds a little odd that you would have like the young kids get off and then transfer and whatnot. You had mentioned that some parents had wanted a change. For how long was there a discussion about this and kind of, a chorus among some parents that this isn't the right way to do it?
Well, I can only date back to our time with our daughters attending Willow Springs because that's the first time we were alerted to how the system works, right? Kids get on a bus, they get off here, then they get on another bus and they go here. And it makes you think like, wow, that's okay. What I appreciate about the district is that there is busing available for every student in the district from 4K to 12th grade. There is a bus route available for your student. And that's not the case in every district. So it's something that I truly appreciate about the district. There's bus transportation available. And some buses, if you're in, morning or afternoon 4K, they'll pick you up from one of a variety of different learning centers around the area and get you to the location where your child is being taught. So it was a discussion, but again, I never felt like our children were at risk. But I understand the argument. Like, well, why do you want 4 and 5-year-olds getting off a bus anywhere that isn't their school?
Yeah.
It invites the possibility something could happen. Now, in the same vein, a third grader could have had the same thing happen, or a fourth grader or sixth grader. I get it. And there is supervision helping those 4K students get off the bus. It's a controlled process. It's not just, free to run off the bus and find your other bus. But just a horrific accident and just being in the area, you could feel the community support really start to build over the last few days. There were activities on Saturday. My daughter plays basketball, and there was basketball at Templeton Middle School, and all the gyms were filled, and there were kids. So kind of back on school grounds after a day off on Friday to reflect and mourn.
And on Friday, there was a candlelight vigil as well.
Yes,
was that just packed?
It was packed. It was absolutely packed. There's a church right on the, I guess, just west of Silver Spring Intermediate, and it was absolutely packed.
Today, something else that's happening, therapy dogs, which you often see in a tragedy. They decide that they'll bring in the dogs because these dogs really can help. I mean, and sometimes it's just the simple thing of a kid having that dog come up and being able to pet the dog. I mean, it's such a simple thing, but it can really calm the kids and just get different thoughts in their heads.
3 golden retrievers brought to Silver Spring Intermediate School today and also Willow Springs Learning Center. And they'll be there again tomorrow, I think, through the morning and early part of the afternoon. I think they're wrapped up here for today. I don't know what makes a therapy dog a therapy dog. I just find dogs to be therapeutic in general.
Isn't that the
And golden
truth?
retrievers are wonderful dogs. So that's the thing they're doing. We got a call from the principal of my daughter's elementary school on Saturday night asking how our girls were doing. And then inviting one of my daughters to help participate in an activity on Sunday to help welcome bringing students back to school on Monday. So my daughter felt honored to be a part of that, and just to receive the notes that I've received from teachers, from the principal. They're certainly taking this seriously, very concerned about the well-being of the students in the district, regardless of age.
Right. But yeah, today, school back in session after the tragedy last week.
12:43 on WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Market Watcher Brian Wickert. Well, a lot of folks have buying a home on their New Year's resolution list, and while national news headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, I'm afraid that's just not the case in most of Wisconsin. So how do you make your offer stand out from the others so that someone else doesn't end up sleeping in your dream home? Well, it takes a team of a good real estate agent and a mortgage lender who has all the tools and techniques to help make your offer as attractive as possible in the eyes of that seller. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet, rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that might also come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. We'll also help you understand exactly what it means in dollars and cents if you do decide to offer over asking or give that seller some appraisal wiggle room. All you have to do to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
January. I know. Not the greatest always, right? WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you've got the January blues, Brighten up your Monday and Tuesday with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, voted the best supper club in the area. Enjoy any steak, seafood, pan-fried walleye, a fresh salad, the steak and lobster, anything on the menu. You got it. Your second dinner is always free. Desserts and those huge ice cream drinks are buy one, get one free. I think it's the best part of the meal. Sip on an old-fashioned. Check out the Manhattan, bourbon, 100 wines, ice-cold beer out of the tap. The Fox and Hounds in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest is truly a one-of-a-kind gem. The holiday decorations are still up with thousands of lights, the Christmas characters. It's a must-see, and those 7 wood-burning fireplaces keep you warm on a cold January night. Nice and cozy. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. Enjoy your free dinner tonight. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Winter weather advisory in effect till 4 o'clock for Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha counties. It's going to be windy in those areas. You might have some freezing drizzle to worry about to the western part. So maybe not the snow they're getting in Racine and Kenosha especially, but potential for freezing drizzle could make conditions slick on the road. So be careful wherever you are driving out and about today. Tonight's overnight low, 17. No moisture in the system tomorrow. It should be relatively dry with a high of 26. Should see some peaks of the sun as well. It's 27 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:47. Well, it wasn't a pretty game in Green Bay yesterday, but it is the Bears after all. So even in the midst of a challenging day on the football field, it looked like the Packers were going to pull off a victory.
Good snap and hold. The kick by McManus on the way. It's low, but it's good. Drive boot from Brandon McManus to give
the call from Fox Sports. Jessica, you were in the stadium. I know you don't like to leave early, so you're probably on the edge of your seat. 55-yard field goal. It's cold. It's not easy to kick in those conditions. And it just take me into the stadium at that point.
I thought we were going to have this game. I did not think that earlier, but then all of a sudden, boom, we're so close. You think you're going to get it, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, what? What? The Bears have the ball again, and they're going way too much, and we're not going to have this game.
Well, that was part of the issue, right? Matt LaFleur did not run a lot of clock, right, in setting up for that field goal. He chose to use a timeout to set up for the field goal. He was indecisive. He totally botched the final minute of that game, and there were other issues. I get it, but Matt LaFleur's time management was a complete failure yesterday, and it allowed the Bears to set up for this.
Scott Daly, the snapper. Torrey Taylor, the holder. Good snap. Good hold. The kick on the way by Santos, and it is good!
A 51-yarder just sort of snuck into the left corner of the uprights just over and had a little room to spare. But the fact that the Bears even had an opportunity to get into field goal position is mind-boggling. And then the Packers' defense, which was trying to prevent a touchdown on the play before the field goal instead of trying to make... they left the entire middle of the field wide open for that pass to be completed, and the rest is history.
And let's be real, this game, we didn't have to win this game. We were already in the playoffs, but there's something to be said, too, about the rivalry. Oh, we always want to beat the Bears.
There's a couple ways I look at it. You're right. In the grand scheme of things, what happened yesterday doesn't change the fact that the Packers have to go to Philly, right? Because Washington beat Dallas in what was a far closer game than many, I think, expected. But from like a feel-good standpoint, you don't like this. Back-to-back losses against division rivals, sort of backing into the playoffs. Your best wide receiver has a torn ACL. He ain't going to play. Jordan Love's dealing with an injury. I think he'll be fine, but I don't know, maybe his practice week gets compromised a little bit. And you had a complete failure from every level of the coaching staff in a game that the Packers looked disinterested in playing. Like, that was my frustration. It was a complete flop on the home field in their last home game of the year.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I love going and being in the stands for the games. It's a blast, but it is a different experience because when you're at home and you're watching it on television, you get those close-up shots of the guys' faces, and I do feel a little more into the game in a different way when I'm watching at home than I am in the stands. But it's fun. It's about the experience there. So I didn't really notice feeling like, I'm looking at the guys' faces and they don't feel like they're in it. But, I mean, the action on the field, They were not in it. I actually went to the bathroom at one point, which is funny because I never really do that for the Bucks games. I'm always like, go and you're done. But you take the shuttle up there, it's longer. So at some point, I'm like, running. Let me make this quick. I always try to time it out. And I come out and I hear, I can't see the TVs yet, but as I'm walking out, I hear, oh gosh, you hope that injury, isn't a bad one. And I thought, great. So not only did we not win, but we had some injuries too, and it was just rough.
Yeah, the whole idea behind Sunday's game in a perfect world is get an early lead, start pulling your starters, get them rested, have a clean game plan, right? Just go in with a little positive momentum. And now you kind of enter the postseason as the team that everybody feels they can beat, right? That's not a good spot because after the Packers beat Seattle a few weeks ago, they were all of a sudden the hot team. Nobody wants to play Green Bay in the playoffs. Look out. And now I don't know any team is saying that. I don't want to play the Packers. I don't think any team is worried about the Packers.
Well, and then we had those predictions of who's going to be the matchup for the Super Bowl, and the Packers were in it.
Well, there is that from Peter Schrager of the NFL Network. So,
you think he's going back on that now, though, after the last two games?
I think that happened after the Seattle game and before the Minnesota game and certainly before the Bears game yesterday. Were there a lot of Bears fans there yesterday?
Yeah, quite a few. I mean, it's a quick little ride up 94 there. So yeah, but that was fun. They were nice Bears fans around us, so that was okay. But it is funny because it was cold. 17 degrees was that they made the announcement. Tundra temp at kickoff, 17 degrees. The wind made it feel a little bit cooler. So everybody is bundled up, and I think that's fun. There was just a tiny bit of snow falling. So I think it's really part of the experience to be up there at Lambeau. That's fun. But especially if you're up there and you're tailgating ahead of time, you've been out in the cold for a long, long time. So when the game ends like that, all of a sudden it's just like, okay, down the stairs. Here we go. Yeah. Let's jump on the shuttle and get home.
Well, we'll keep track of Jordan Love's elbow injury. It's affecting his hand and his ability to grip the football throughout the week here. Christian Watson's season is likely over. That is terrible. And the Packers go ahead to face the team that beat them in Brazil to begin the season.
So at the end of the day, since the Packers didn't win and we have those injuries, for some, the highlight of the game was actor Craig T. Nelson singing the national anthem.
Well, there you go. Yeah, coach on the field before the game, of course, in a flyover, which is always great.
Oh, yeah, that was cool, too.
Nothing sets a game off quite like a flyover. That is something to behold. 12:53, we'll wrap up the program with some final thoughts after this.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's, and it is my favorite frozen pizza. It's not even close. Greg Matzik here. It's Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. I love Palermo's no matter where it was made, but I love that it's made in Wisconsin and celebrating its 60th anniversary. Great tasting. You support local when you have Palermo's. You also make everybody at the dinner table happy. I can promise you that. Connie's Urban Pie, Screamin' Sicilian. We had one of those over the weekend. Rarely does a weekend go by where we're not involved with Palermo's in some way, shape, or form. It's easy and it tastes great. Simple as that. Make everyone at your household happy with Palermo's on the dinner table. Palermo's, Urban Pie, Connie's, Surfer Boys, Screamin' Sicilian. You name it. They got a breakfast pizza. Kids love that. You can find Palermo's wherever you shop, including Festival Foods, Pick and Save, Sendik's, Piggly Wiggly, Woodman's. You know where to find it in the frozen food aisle. It is Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
I'm Dr. Jasmine Zapata, Chief Medical Officer for Community Health at the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. Every year in the U.S., about 21,000 lung cancer deaths are caused by radon, an odorless, tasteless, and colorless gas. 1 in 10 Wisconsin homes has high levels of radon. Does yours? Call 1-888-LOW-RADON or visit lowradon.org to learn more. Test, fix, save a life.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Reminder to take us with you wherever you go. It's the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast, and it's built by Siding Unlimited, Truly Siding, and a whole lot more. Siding Unlimited, proud sponsor of the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast. Download wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, it's not often you spot a monkey in a tutu on the side of the road. CBS's Deborah Rodriguez has a story of what happened when police did.
Sheriff's officers in Jefferson County, Missouri knew someone needed help when they spotted an 8-pound spider monkey wandering near Highway 21 and Route M in a hot pink and white number. It walked up to an officer and tugged on his pant leg, then held his hand as they walked to the squad car together. Police say the animal had opened the door and walked out of its caretaker's home. Monkey and human have been reunited. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
So I caught a picture of this online.
Yeah.
Jefferson County deputies rescue monkey in pink tutu, right? Do that in your Google search. You're going to see a very funny image of a deputy on one knee, extending his arms, and the little spider monkey wearing a tutu is holding his hands.
I mean, yeah, it's a cute little thing in the pink tutu, but I think that's hilarious that the monkey just kind of tugged on his pant and was like, here, take me home.
Please.
Just hold hands and walk back.
Monkeys have opposable thumbs. They can do things humans do, right? They can open doors. They can leave. They can... It's pretty funny stuff.
This is the first time I've ever seen a monkey in a tutu, though.
I would agree with that, yes. And this is the type of monkey I would expect to see in a tutu, among all other monkeys.
The more you know. What
all
a
right.
Monday.
Done monkeying around here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Headlines are next. I get a boo from the crowd back there. Sorry about that. That's the way we end the show.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi,